Kira from NerdFeed. I am here with Chris Rager. He is the voice actor for Mr. Satan from Dragon Ball Z, my personal favorite.
Yes.
He also voices Mr. Torg from Borderlands 2, and he voices the principal in Assassination Classroom, amongst many, many others. So, Chris, when did you first know you wanted to be a voice actor?
I guess I first knew that I wanted to be an actor long before I wanted to be a voice actor. I first knew I wanted to be an actor, I guess probably, 18, 19 years old. I never really had done theater in high school or anything. I was a band geek. I was a band nerd. I played the bassoon. I was always very into creative things, whether it was art and drawing or music. I never had ventured into the world of acting. When I finally got to college, it turned out I didn't have I was actually going for art, to be an artist, to be like a graphic artist. And ultimately, I didn't have $16 for a lab fee for my Drawing 2 class. $16, guys, this has changed my life. So instead, I took an acting class that semester, thinking, okay, well, I still need an elective. I'll take an acting class and we'll get back to the drawing next semester. And I never did.
You never got back
No,
to it?
never got back.
So how did you first get started as a voice actor then?
I and my friends, after having gone to an acting school in Dallas called Katy Conservatory of the Southwest, and it's just now called Katy Studio, we kind of realized early on that going out to LA or maybe to New York wasn't maybe the most feasible idea for us, considering we were broke and poor and weren't really willing to make that jump. So we figured that we would bring them to us in some capacity. So we started an improv comedy troupe and wrote sketch comedy and performed improv games in a show that ultimately became this troupe called Section 8 Comedy. Before that, we were Actors Without a Stage. We were Dead Comics Society. Improv troupes do this. They go through many, many names. Ultimately, one of my friends, Mike McFarland, in that show with me, Section 8 Comedy, had booked a part in Dragon Ball Z, although we did not know what that was at the time. And he was Master Roshi, which I always thought was funny, because I'm like, dude, Mike, that's just your old guy voice. I've heard you do that 1,000 times. Someone's paying you to do that? So I thought, well, shoot, man, if Mike can do it, I can do it. And that's kind of pretty much how it started. I went to Funimation, I auditioned. Mr. Satan, Hercule was on the docket that day, and he had his big hair and his, his Fu Manchu mustache kind of thing, and it was really like a Hulk Hogan mustache to me, and he had his championship belt and his hands perked up in the air, and I thought,
that one.
I'm gonna go for that guy because it just spoke to me. When I looked at him, I saw Hulk Hogan, and I thought, well, if that's what they want, I can do that. But it really wasn't like, I didn't want to just do Hulk Hogan, so I just sort of encompassed this 80s style wrestler. I yelled into the microphone, and they were like, hey, come on back and do that some more. And so that's pretty much how it happened.
I love Hercule's voice. He did a very wonderful job.
Thank you very much. I have a good time with it. It wasn't. I mean, my friends and I had sat around and cut many a wrestling promo with each other. Just being like, listen up, Savage. I'll see you at the Omni in Atlanta, brother, and stuff like that. And those are just the kinds of things we would do. I did not realize that I was being prepped to become this character in Dragon Ball Z.
That many people would love.
Yes, I had no idea. But in the beginning, not so many people loved Hercule. In the very beginning, I always got people like, God, I hate your guy. He's so annoying, and he's always doing something stupid. And I was all like, yeah, that's the character.
Grows on you, though.
That's not me. That's what he does. He does that. He's the buffoon. He's the comic relief.
So what's been the hardest thing about voice acting throughout your career?
Getting all the parts that you want. That's the hardest part. Sometimes you go without work for a while, and that can be a little stressful. You just kind of hope and pray, that you stay relevant, that people still like you, that you're easy to work with, you show up on time and you're fun and good and easy to work with. That's what's really important. Mm-hmm. Talent is one thing. But if you're a talented a-hole, nobody really wants to work with you.
So what was the easiest thing for you then, getting into voice acting?
I think voice acting really plays into the thing that I always enjoyed doing as a kid, and then what I really enjoyed about what I found out about acting, which was comedy and improv and those kinds of things. And it really plays in plays to my strengths, as it were. You know, I think whatever I had been doing in my childhood into adulthood prepped me in some way to do these kinds of things, and I just didn't really know it. You know, I mean, I enjoyed all kinds of different anime as a kid, and definitely tons and tons of animation, all the Warner Brothers and. You know, I think specifically Animaniacs for sure, no doubt about it. You know, mimicking those voices and have an audible ear. You know, it's almost like having an ear for music. You have an ear for how people manipulate things in their mouth and in their throat and in their chest to make those sounds, and you figure out a way to mimic them. And then you yourself, by doing that, are training yourself to then manipulate yourself in such a way that you can come up with things on your own. You know, so.
All right, so out of all the characters that you've given a voice to in the past, which one would you say is your favorite?
You know, sometimes it's the one I'm doing right then. Like recently, I was really happy to come back and get to do the principal again. You know, they have that little RPG style assassination classroom on Funimation, the simuldubs. Have you seen this yet?
No, not yet.
Oh my God, it is so ridiculously funny.
So that's your current favorite then?
Well, I mean, Mr. Satan definitely. I mean, he was my first, so he will always, yeah.
Oh.
You know. So yeah, he was the
cherry popper?
Yes, he was the cherry popper. Mr. Satan was the cherry popper. You should say that to yourself in your sleep.
Mr. Satan was the cherry popper.
Yeah, they might make that into a song. You know, I feel like, what was that group that was I am the fire starter, what was that one? They were like, Mr. Satan's the cherry popper, you know. Like,
yeah, there you go. I'm a big Dragon Ball Z fan.
Yes.
Probably tell.
I haven't figured that out yet.
Well, really. And I'm just curious, if you could voice any other character in Dragon Ball Z, who would you pick?
Vegeta.
Vegeta?
Yeah, without hesitation.
Can you give us a demo of what that would sound like?
I am the Prince of all Saiyans! It's over 9,000!
I am so happy right now. Okay.
I don't really do his voice. That's my buddy Sabbath.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
He's gonna be.
He does it. He does it okay. I mean, I think my version's better, but you know.
I appreciated it.
He does okay. He could stand to give up a character.
You think
so? He's got like 12.
There you go.
You know. I
so
mean,
you
why?
Just want Vegeta.
Like, why don't you just be Piccolo?
There you go.
Right. I could do Vegeta. Anyway.
Trade off every now and again. All right, so you've been teaching something called the sessions lately.
I have, yeah.
Could you tell us a little about?
I would love to, actually. I would love to. I kind of came up with this idea because of my friend Sunny Strait, who was just doing an anime voice acting class. And I thought, well, Sunny, that's a really interesting thing to do, you know, to make it specific like that and, you know, bring in anime fans and let them take a hack at it. I began to expand upon it and said, I'd like to add video games in there somehow, because those are the kinds of two things I get a lot of work in and am notable for. And I'd like to bring in some other voice actors, and I'd like to have everyone give their perspective. So ultimately, I've created a class that it's about the experience in voice acting. We take 10 students at a time. I bring in people like Joel McDonald, Monica Rial, Chris Sabat. I got Eric Bale this time around. Did I say Ian Sinclair? Ian Sinclair. I bring in Tyler Walker, a voice actor and director of Fairy Tale up at Funimation, Bakano, many others. Do you like Fairy Tale?
I do like Fairy Tale,
yes. Well, I bring in the director of that show. And so we kind of go from the audition process to like a final product. But that's the class. That's what we do. Done it for about a year now. I just sold the 7th round of these classes that'll be starting this month, February 28th. And I'm excited they're doing so well. Everyone seems to be getting a lot out of it. I'm taking a range of people from at least some performance experience to people who actually are up at Funimation and, you know, doing some bit parts and things like that, and want to kind of get more, get those bigger parts, and yeah, it's been a great success, a lot of fun.
So what is it initially that made you want to start teaching voice acting?
I think it was because I didn't want to have to do anything else. I figured that this was actually a good way for me not to have to, that I could just voice act and teach voice acting, and I wouldn't have to worry about the other work.
The other stuff.
Yes. Well, those gaps in time when you're not getting any work, and those kinds of things. This gives me something fairly steady to do about every other month. Brings in some income, and you know, giving people an opportunity that we didn't have to actually get in the booth and get some critiques and notes and direction from experts in the business and professionals in the business that we sure as hell didn't have. and see what comes out of it. You know, if someone comes out of my class that becomes big, huge, and famous, then you know, I win. You know,
I taught them what they know.
Yes, exactly.
I gotcha. So if you could give just one small bit of advice to future voice actors out there, what would you say?
Learn to act. Learn to act. You don't just start using your voice, or and that's the thing, is that you're not just using your voice. Like, there is a lot of physicality that takes place when you are voice acting, and it is about an understanding of performance, an understanding of emotions and people and feelings and things and stuff in the world. It's acting's about a world of experiences, and in some way, as an actor, if you haven't had experiences in your life that you can draw those emotions from or understand what those emotions are, then, well, you won't be an actor. That's just all there is to it.
All right, well, thank you so much, Chris, for joining us and for giving us a few minutes of your time. You can
Thank you.
follow Chris on his Facebook and Twitter pages. Those links are in the description below. And
Yes.
as always, you can find NerdFeed on our different social
Yeah,
media outlets.
if you see at Rager Coaster, that was a nickname I gave myself a long time ago, and so just deal with it.
You gotta say that in the Mr. Satan voice.
Yeah,
Though.
just deal with it. Yeah, you're all a bunch of chumps.
Yes! So
I'm
yeah,
the champ.
you can find NerdFeed on nerdfeed.net and through all of our different social media outlets if you want to find more of our nerdy news.
That's
Thanks.
right. Nerdy news. Megaton punch.